The United States has significantly escalated its military intervention in Yemen. This recent campaign targets the Houthis, a powerful rebel group. The U.S. has conducted numerous airstrikes against Houthi positions, focusing on key infrastructure and military assets. Targets include oil refineries, airports, and suspected missile launch sites. The U.S. claims these strikes are crucial for weakening the Houthis. The recent wave of airstrikes began in mid-March 2025, following a resurgence of violence in the region. The Houthis, in solidarity with Palestinian groups, launched attacks targeting commercial shipping. These attacks, disrupting vital trade routes, drew international condemnation. The U.S. responded with force, aiming to cripple the Houthis' ability to operate. The U.S. asserts that these strikes are having a significant impact. They claim to have killed several high-ranking Houthi leaders, and argue that the strikes are degrading the group's military capabilities. However, independent assessments paint a different picture. Despite the ongoing bombing campaign, the Houthis remain a potent force in Yemen. Their ability to withstand these attacks raises questions about the long-term effectiveness of the U.S. strategy. The human cost of this conflict continues to rise. Airstrikes have resulted in civilian casualties, further fueling anti-U.S. sentiment in the region. The recent strike on a house in Sanaa, killing 4 and wounding 16, exemplifies the devastating consequences of this conflict. The international community has expressed concerns about the rising death toll. However, these concerns have done little to deter the U.S. from continuing its military operations. Despite the relentless airstrikes, the Houthis have remained defiant. They have not been deterred from continuing their attacks. In fact, they have escalated their operations in some areas. They have launched drone and missile attacks on U.S. Navy ships in the region. These attacks demonstrate the Houthis' continued ability to strike at their adversaries. The Houthis have also expanded their targets to include Israel. This development further complicates the situation and suggests a widening of the conflict. The Houthis frame their actions as retaliation for Israeli actions in Palestine. They view themselves as part of a broader axis of resistance against Western imperialism. Their ability to sustain these attacks despite the U.S. air campaign highlights their resilience. They have managed to maintain their operational capacity, raising serious questions about the effectiveness of the U.S. strategy. Analysts point to several factors that contribute to the Houthis' resilience. These include their decentralized command structure and their ability to exploit the challenging Yemeni terrain. The Houthis have also proven adept at leveraging external support. While the extent of Iranian assistance remains a subject of debate, it is clear that the Houthis benefit from external networks. These networks provide them with weapons, technology, and potentially even training. This external support enhances their ability to withstand pressure from the U.S. and its allies. The Houthis' ability to weather the storm of U.S. airstrikes poses a significant challenge to U.S. policy objectives in the region. The Houthis' resilience stems from a combination of factors. Their leadership remains largely intact, allowing them to maintain command and control over their forces. Their leadership's ability to evade U.S. targeting is a testament to their adaptability and knowledge of the terrain. Furthermore, the Houthis have established sophisticated smuggling networks. These networks enable them to procure weapons and supplies despite a de facto blockade. This steady flow of arms sustains their fighting capacity. Their ability to acquire these weapons, despite international efforts to restrict their access, underscores the limitations of traditional containment strategies. The Houthis also benefit from a strong sense of tribal solidarity, which fosters a culture of resistance. Many fighters view the conflict through the lens of defending their homeland and their way of life. This deep-rooted motivation strengthens their resolve. Their commitment to their cause, often rooted in religious beliefs and local grievances, makes them formidable opponents. Moreover, the Houthis have learned from their experiences in previous conflicts. They have become adept at guerrilla warfare. Their ability to utilize unconventional tactics allows them to effectively challenge a technologically superior adversary. Their intimate knowledge of the terrain, coupled with their willingness to employ hit-and-run tactics, poses significant challenges for conventional military forces. The current situation in Yemen appears to be at a stalemate. The U.S. airstrikes have failed to decisively weaken the Houthis. However, the Houthis have also been unable to dislodge the internationally recognized government. This raises questions about the long-term trajectory of the conflict. Some experts argue that a ground offensive is necessary to break the deadlock. However, such an operation carries significant risks. It could lead to a protracted and bloody conflict. The potential for civilian casualties is high. Additionally, a ground offensive would necessitate a significant commitment of resources and manpower. The international community remains divided on the best course of action. The US justifies its involvement in Yemen by citing the need to counter Iranian influence in the region. They accuse Iran of providing material support to the Houthis. However, the extent of Iranian involvement is a matter of debate. Critics argue that the US is using the specter of Iranian influence to justify a costly and counterproductive intervention. The situation in Yemen is further complicated by the involvement of regional actors. Saudi Arabia, in particular, has played a significant role in the conflict. Their intervention, often criticized for its heavy-handed tactics and disregard for civilian casualties, has exacerbated the humanitarian crisis. The complex web of alliances and rivalries in the region makes it difficult to find a lasting solution. The conflict in Yemen is a tragedy for all involved. The humanitarian crisis continues to worsen. Millions of people are facing starvation and disease. The international community must prioritize finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Dialogue and diplomacy are essential for ending the bloodshed and alleviating the suffering of the Yemeni people.